Hello everyone, I want to show you about the world's cheapest hydroponics setup. It's all do-it-yourself, and believe me, if I can do it, you can too. I'll put my hand back here. We'll be eating this one tonight. This is all one plant. And then there's one plant beside it. Here's another one coming along nicely. A young plant. Each of these containers holds 6 plants. As fast as they come out, I have replacement plants ready to go in. I do them in little peat pots so I get some roots, and they translate over very easily. So what we're going to do right now is I'm going to show you how to set up for 6 more. Our total cost here for this entire setup, including the light, is way less than $50. I got this roughly 14-inch by 16-inch, whatever. It's red and blue LEDs. It was on one of those Amazon super 1-hour buys or something at Christmas time and Thanksgiving, whenever they were doing all those super buys, and I got one for like $24 to try. Now, this may look really weird, but I'll show you one that is turned on and has ginger and turmeric. Oh, it doesn't look too bad from a distance. When you get up close, it just becomes like creepy. But you can see I've got a couple of elderberry trees started up and 2 big ginger plants growing under that one. So right here next to it, we're going to do another one. So this light right now on Amazon is I think $30. I don't know where else you can buy it, and I'm not telling you you're supposed to shop at any place that I name. It just happens to be where I came up with it. These tubs they have a green lid. There were 2 of them for like $11 at Walmart. Hard to beat a $5.50 hydroponics setup. I put about 6 gallons of water in it. We'll be adding the fertilizer and such. And I didn't show you my drilling of the holes because, well, it would have been a comedy routine. The holes are roughly 3 inches. There's 6 of them, plus an access hole to add water and to put an air line. And the reason they're roughly 3 inches is because, as cheap as I am, what I'm going to use to hold the plants, these are brown cow yogurts. The labeling for them is cardboard, and it peels off, just pops off. Then I drill a hole to get the roots through. So as you can see, I drill a hole to fit those in there very nicely. So it'll do 6. The yogurt cups don't go into the recycle. They don't get thrown away. I eat the yogurt. The container's $5.50. It's roughly $30 for the light. Now we're going to add some fertilizer, and for that I got to get it set up on a tripod. So we'll be right back. Okay, so I went to the hydroponics store, and didn't take long to explain how totally stupid I was. And this is the stuff the guy told me to use. It's a 10-5-14. Got some minerals in it, whatnot. It's a powder, kind of like Miracle Grow. But he said I'll like this better. I think this whole thing was like $16, and I've used less than half of it in 5 or 6 months. I also got a little bottle of this seaweed extract just because I like to make sure it's got all the trace minerals and stuff in it. So I'm big on careful calculations. I'm going to squirt some of that in. And since I know this is about 5 gallons and the thing says a scoop per gallon, I can pretty much do that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Start with that. Now we've got to mix all that stuff up, so I've got an air pump. It's an aquarium air pump, but it's running the air lines to all these different things. So we're going to sit that there. I'll need a little clamp to hold it. There's one. That'll get the water moving, gets it oxygenated, and gets all that stuff dissolved. Right, now the fancy people are going to be having conniptions, but this is what a dummy like me does. I pick out, boy, there's a nice plant, and I just go in with my fingers, pull the plant out, shake out what dirt I can while it's here. Then I dunk it in a container of water here, because what I need is the roots showing, and not much else. So, as you can see, I've gotten to here. Got to get the roots to go down through that little hole I put in there. I haven't really figured out if it needs to be a small hole or a big hole. But that's what I'm doing. So I try and hold it so it's about halfway. And then I've just taken some aquarium foam. There's a million things you can use, and comically I have the foam. So I just use a piece of that and wedge the plant. So what you're looking at here, there's a nice plant. It's wedged in the foam. The roots are sticking out. So with that, we just put it into the container, pick a hole and plop it in. Then I'm off to the next one. Here's a nice big monster one. I was starting the seeds, and my dilemma is I got to have a fair-sized plant to have enough roots to reach through my deal. But these are the real small little peat pots, and since I do them this way, I can use them over and over again. So there's no waste there. Just rinse out the dirt so you can get the roots sticking down real good. I don't know if that little bit of dirt causes a problem or not. Doesn't seem to. We'll work them in that hole. Then do my same deal, and goes my little piece of foam. I cut it in half so I'm not trying to thread it through the foam. I just stick it in there. Holds the foam just fine. Here's another one. Roots sticking out, leaves up, ready to go. I'll put it into the container. Now I'll go ahead and do the rest of these, since, you know, if you watch 2, you know what 6 look like, and I'll be back to show you the finished product. But I've got them all transferred over. Now in my little flats here, I have all these empty holes. I've got new plants started that will then go into these little holes to continue growing. They're just little tiny seedlings, and they'll go in here to continue the process. Now let me show you where we are. And there's my light. There's that creepy light I was telling you about, and there's my 6 plants. Get them all pushed down so the roots are in the water real good. And amazingly, from this size plant, it only takes about 3 to 4 weeks, and we're harvesting. I'll have to watch the pH in my water here, and with the bubbling, it'll evaporate, and I'll have to probably add a gallon in a week, about a gallon a week, gallon every 2 weeks. Add to it with some more fertilizer. Watch the pH, and within three weeks, as big as these are to start with, probably 3 weeks, these will look like those big ones ready to eat. So we've got $30, $5, tasty yogurt. Everybody's got an aquarium air pump laying around somewhere. If not, you can buy a little one for less than $10 that'll drive 2 or 3 of these things. Tubing is pretty cheap. I'm telling you, I got less than $50 in the whole thing, and part of that is the fertilizer, which will last me for 6 months. So maybe there's $1 worth of fertilizer goes into this whole process. This is going to make some great lettuce, and it's going to make it all winter long. You got to try this. You don't have to be rich to do it, and as you can see by my holes, you don't have to be very talented at even drilling a hole. So give it a try, make yourself some fresh lettuce, I got some basil started. I'm going to try it somewhere. This is a lot of fun in the winter while you're waiting till it's time for your garden. So thank you for watching. Hope some of this gave you a laugh. Bye now.